type these in quick. Ah. 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 There we go. Not a number. Oh, no. There we go. Sweet. Okay, cool. And I'm definitely streaming because I'm hearing myself, which is wunderbar, as they never say. Maybe they do say it. But anyways. Jeez, that was loud. Hello everybody, welcome to the Beandale Show. My name is Beandale, and you are watching the Beandale stream on today, the 13th of September 2021. It may not be the 13th of September 2021 when you are watching this, but it's definitely the 13th of September 2021 when I'm streaming it, so that's the case. I have a bottle of water. I shall take this wonderful gulp from it. ASMR right here. I hope you appreciated that. I will continue to be drinking water throughout the stream. You gotta stay hydrated. So, whew. Alright, let me get my game all set up, and we should be underway. But yeah, no, today is the second stream of September. It's a pretty ordinary, actually it's not the most ordinary 13th of September. And I think one reason why that's the case is that it's been very, very sunny recently. Maybe not today in Sydney, but definitely very, very sunny. Like we had like a 28 day yesterday. I'm feeling nice and cozy outside in this temperature. I don't know. It's a change of season, always gets me, but I feel like I've been very, very glad for it to get a bit warmer outside. So anyways, let's jump into the game, which I'm on the menu. There we go. So, last week, I've got a handful of Pokemon that are still yet to get to level 40. We've got 3 of them, one's in the box. I've got Flashfly here. For some reason, I don't think I actually need Flashfly anymore. Unless I'm flying, but I actually don't think I need Flashfly, really. So, yeah. Let's withdraw. I'm pretty sure my other level 40 is Chicky, who's ready. Chicky's right there. So, but yeah, no, previous stream, still being awkwardly not the right level, I felt. And who have I got? So I've got Babat still going up. I've got Hot Doggo with the, or is it Fluffer? It's one of them with the experience thing. And then I don't know, I need Growler to also gain up to level 40. And then I will maybe feel confident enough to fight the gym, to fight the Elite Four. Is Babat gonna get absolutely wrecked because I'm attacking? Oh, hey, it worked out. That's all right. But yeah, so yeah, I'm still baffled by the fact that like I'm so far off the mark when it comes to level. Maybe I'm probably overstepping it, reaching level 40, but I still feel the principle is there of like how, I mean, I got swept by Xatu, sure, but then like, what do you do after that? Like, if I get swept by Xatu, I'm gonna get wrecked by every other Pokemon, like, in the whole place, because they're all higher level, and not just high level, but probably faster as well. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty regular week. I've actually got really no like tremendously amazing news of the week. I've got a couple of topics. So I guess the first one, that's always a trendy one to talk about, is the Raw Seek, the race weekend in Autodrome di Monza. I think that's what it's called, and if it's not, then whoops, it's not called that. But they're in Monza, which is very close to Milan in northern Italy. And in Monza, they drove around 53 laps? why I'm using Bite when I could be using Wing Attack. Maybe for that flinch, I don't know. But no, it was a pretty good race. As someone who is a big fan of Danny Rick, I really appreciated his effort in the race. Solid stuff. I think the best part is that he won, like, not just... He didn't win because of any of the upsets that were happening. He won... Like, it did feel like he would have won no matter what happened. And if anything, given the number of safety cards, because there were 3 of them, weren't there? Or there were 2 VSCs and 1 actual safety card, so... The VSCs don't count, because they don't pack up the grid. But he definitely, like, had a lead, and then really stuck to it with no, like, problems. Which, I guess, like, on the one hand, it's like, oh, it's not exciting, because he pushes into the lead immediately, stays in the lead forever. But then on the other hand, I'm like, you know, he's not... Like, he's not in the de facto winning car. I would have said Mercedes is that. And that was a bit interesting, because Hamilton falling down the pack just after the, second chicane, and Bottas being at the back of the grid, you know, it did mean something a bit interesting when it came to that, so... Other drivers in the race, I did think Bottas probably... I think he did deserve the driver of the day, and honestly, like, crazy good drive. Like, just... I mean, not only... Like, yeah, his car is, like, by far the best car on this track. But even then, like, starting in 19, and just working your way up, I think only 3 people, yeah, eliminated before him. So, really, he only had to do 13 overtakes. Or 14 overtakes, because he won one because of a grid position. Sorry, because of a time penalty. But still, like, crazy good drive to just, like, you know, overtake that many people really consistently. So, really good job by him. I'd give him big points. And, yeah, he didn't really have any mistakes. Just him starting at the back. That was it. So, yeah. I think the controversial thing is, of course, the crash between Verstappen and Hamilton on lap 20, 23, or something like that. I think the outcome is a little bit, you know, over the mark. I feel like, I mean, Verstappen definitely, like, cut in and wasn't quite ahead of Hamilton, and the worst part is that, yeah, if he turned left and went off, like, cutting the corner, he still wouldn't be ahead. He cut the corner, so I don't think that was really a win situation for Verstappen in that. I think the outcome of what exactly happened, I don't think anyone really could have predicted. Very, very aggressive. But I also feel like, yeah, I mean, Hamilton didn't exactly have the corner, because he did just come out of the pit lane. So I guess the question is, if, and this is the thing, if 2 people end up in a corner at the same time, one coming out of the pit lane, one zooming down, but they'll both kind of reach the corner at the same time. And I know Verstappen's a little behind, I know that's the case. Like, who wins it? It's a real, like, it was a real interesting one. I think the penalty is probably a bit, yeah, harsh of a 3 grid place penalty for the next race, but I also feel like Verstappen's probably going to take his 4th engine there anyways, so it's a bit moot. But, yeah, no, that's alright. Only other things I'd say is that if I was an AlphaTauri fan, I'd be incredibly upset because of, like, yeah, the crash during the last, or during the sprint qualifying. And then, just, yeah, the Tsunoda's car not working. That'd be very disappointing, so... 37, we're getting there. But other than that, yeah, no, it was a reasonably alright race. Monster's a quick one. It's always fun because it is so quick. Like, by the time you're ready to, you know, or at least by the time, like, you know, people are starting to get tired, it's like, oh, you're really near the end of the race, and I think mid-race safety cars are pretty neat in the sense of, like, you know, the competition is to get the overtakes. And the safety car pulls everyone together and, you know, stops those dramatic leads from still existing, which I feel like in Monza is kind of like, yeah, you need that for your excitement. So, that's good there. Actually, I guess the fact of just having a safety car anyways is really good. I don't know, it's been a while since I've done it. They keep red flagging. Happens a lot. It's like someone crashes and then it's like, oh, you can't just remove that car by driving slowly. It's like, no, like you got a safety car. Like, oh, okay. Sorry, you got a red flag. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, pretty alright. Yeah. My only other things of note that I've really experienced throughout the week is me playing yet another Nancy Drew. This is the sequel to the last one I think I played the week before, and I've got this one on the ready. This was Nancy Drew Danger on Deception Island, which I was expecting it to be a simple Nancy Drew game, but because it's in the Nancy Drew Beginner bundle on Steam. And the last one was also part of that, and I thought the last one was very, very easy, the Haunted Carousel. But playing this one, it wasn't as easy as I was expecting it to be. It actually was pretty okay. So the plot of this one was actually kind of interesting. It was, yeah, so you're going, I don't know how she got invited, but you're in a place in Washington State, and you're on the coast, and an orca has pulled up into the dock, and that stopped the fishermen from being able to fish, and you've got this researcher person who's able to research them, I think, and then there's also a person who does whale tours, and so I guess it's like, so, but someone's trashing people's boats. What's going on there? So you've got a bit of a mystery to solve going on from there. No, like, hard spoilers, but there definitely was, like, I was expecting one of these Onyxes to use Rock Pirate. That's not gonna, like, annihilate him, but I don't have a hard, like, answer to it apart from just using Bite 2 more times. What's up, Red? How's it going? I didn't even notice you in the chat there. I was just like, oh, just looking back and forth. But yeah, no, the puzzles in this one were actually kind of right. I liked how you had this little bit of exploration you could do out on the ocean. I liked how there was this one part involving a cave tunnel. That was actually pretty neat. I keep forgetting its wing attack on the Golbats for some reason. Special defense maybe. This has been the most interesting, like, 5 hours of stream, hasn't it? Where it's like, two weeks ago, at about this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm up to the league, I'm gonna go fight him, and I immediately, like, just cannot. And then, just 2 whole streams, I'm just here. So, that's where. But yeah, no, that Nancy Drew was alright. Alright, I guess. I don't really have strong opinions about these Nancy Drew games, but, you know, if they go cheap and in a bundle, they're actually not horrendous point-and-click adventure games. But short and sweet adventures. Nothing too amazing, but they're pretty okay. And especially, I think, one thing that's actually kind of neat is that I always get the impression that they're aimed for younger players, but they don't shy away from being a bit, like, a bit grounded and mature in some ways. Like, it's not, you know, it's not like people have, like, you know, like, it's not ultra-violent, I guess, but, like, this one does involve smugglers and I guess just, like, handfuls of politics, in the sense of, this one's a bit topical, like, someone complains, it's like, oh, like, you know, this whale comes along, and suddenly we're not allowed to go out and go fishing, what's going on there? And I'm like, you know what, like, it seems rather grounded in, like, some, you know, some basis, even if it's, like, one character obviously is evil, obviously lies to you, it's like, yeah, okay. That bottle of water is about to be no more. Alright, real talk, if I ever get a sponsor, it's never gonna happen, but if I ever do, I'm getting a freaking water company. Imagine that. Gamer freaking advertises just water. Just regular water, bro. When was the last time you've seen Mount Franklin on the side of a, you know, the sportsman's jersey? No, they're advertising like Mountain Dew. They're advertising Monster or Red Bull or Oak or something. It's like it's always like, why is it this incredibly sugary drink that, like, I don't know if athletes legitimately do drink Monster or Red Bull. Probably. But how much do they drink? I imagine not that much. You'll see them taking drinks out of, like, a oh! Rip That's friendship. He doesn't need it anymore, but... You know what's the best part? Fluffer still gains a little bit of experience there. Ah! I'm nearly out of the cave, bro. I don't have a slow one here. I do have a slow one. Nice. Oh well. What even is with, like, sponsorships anyways? Like, I mean, I get the logistics of, like, oh, you know, it's someone who wants a brand, you know, advertised, and so they will pay you to basically, you know, like, maybe have an ad, but at the very least, just, like, you know, say the brand name. And I love how, like, that's enough to just invoke just association to sell the product. It's like, what's a good example of one? Oh, like, this is a classic. So my dad's, like, you know, like a big, like, rugby fan, and they named the stadium after, like, Credit Union Australia, and this is not a sponsorship, but I'm just like, the stadium's just named that, and I'm like, it's a bank name, I guess, sure. But, like, is that all it takes to advertise that this is a bank? Like, that's crazy. It blows my mind, but I guess it does work, because people, you know, do it all the time. And, like, now there's, like, an arena here called Marvel Arena. It's like, do you really need to remind people that, like, Marvel is a brand by putting it on the name of a stadium? Does that work? That's crazy. Ooh, Fluffer actually levels up a bit quicker, but they should be almost there pretty quick. I don't know who's getting, like, my lingering amount of experience. Maybe on No On Boy, because he needs that speed a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, like, if I ever was to sell out, I don't know which kinds of sponsors I would, like, sell out to. I feel like as a general principle, and this is coming from the guy with no sponsorships at the moment, this is also coming from the guy who's not even bothered to stream 2 more times this month to just push his Twitch channel to affiliate status. I'm just, like, sitting there going, you know, do this for fun. But, like, I don't know what kinds of brands I'd say, like, yes or no to. I guess I'd say no to, like, alcohol brands, because, like, I don't drink, but then, like, you know, I guess I'd sell out to brands that I legitimately use, and not, like, because they'll give me a free thing. If that's ever the case. I know that happens for a few people, and that's always, like, like, not concerning, but just something with brands selling out. Is that, like, if I get free things, I don't trust myself to be, like, you know, unbiased for that brand. Like, if you gave me a lifetime supply of fried chicken, you know, like, I love you, it's amazing, but also, like, you know, you can't expect me to just go, like, I'm gonna fairly review your products. It's like, no, I'm set for life, bro. I don't have to buy food or cook ever again. Actually, one interesting analogy I feel is when a lot of game reviewers, they'll get their games for free, like, you know, review copies and stuff. And then meanwhile, like, here I am, like, I don't spend a ton on video games a year. I think I spend maybe, like... I feel like I've legitimately spent a couple $100 in the past few years on video games. Maybe it might be a little more, because I think I've bought, like, a handful of other ones. But it's like, I'm buying a lot of, like, games a few years and more older, and not spending a ton on it. And so when I guess the discussion of, like, selling out or, like, you know, getting a review copy, I mean, I guess you don't really get review copies for games that are that old, but even then it's like, oh, I'm not even spending that much on games to begin with. So I feel like my opinion, if I did get a game for free, there's a lot of games I've played where it's like, I don't even remember buying it, so I feel like my opinion of paying money on it is not really clouding, you know, my view of the game. You could give it to me for free. I feel like I'd probably have the same stance on it because I can't even remember the things I do pay for. On this episode of Blendo is irresponsible with money. Turns down sponsorships because he doesn't use the product. Can't justify a conflict of interest because you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit jaded on it. I will say though that there's a horrendous amount of advertising that's like leaking through into my general like web use, and like on the one hand, I know, you know, servers cost money, people need to, you know, make money somehow. I still have no idea if ads are the best way to even like do things. They're definitely a passive way of gaining money on the internet. But ultimately, you know, what is the way to do it? I think the only way that we're really gonna reach like 100% freedom out of it is if energy becomes like zero cost, as in like there's no cost for something to create enough electricity to run a server, for example. And then if the cost of maintenance of the physical resources becomes so low, as in if the chips themselves are mass-produced so much that you could run a server and not really pay much at all for that server to even, you know, have the chip. I think that's at the point. We pay a lot on internet and bandwidth as well, and I guess you can't really flush, you know, you can't do too much bandwidth, but I wonder if we'll reach a point where it's like every single person can get a free access to the internet at a certain bandwidth. And it's like, you can guarantee, you know, do some registration so it's not ripe for abuse, but like you can have your one service and you can get your, you know, a certain limited amount of bandwidth for that. I'm thinking like, okay, well if energy is really cheap and the chips are really cheap and then the bandwidth is really cheap, like you could probably just like maintain a server forever. And I guess that's the joy of like cloud services, is that, well, the maintenance is part and parcel, because you know, you're loaning out like virtual systems more, so they're just inherently moving things around anyways. The energy's not cheap, so that's one thing. But the bandwidth also at like AWS is like, you know, not that. No, they've got the capabilities for it, so me hosting a very small web server is like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. But the tangent was from, I guess, like advertising. But yeah, like I don't know, and this is the thing, is like one scary thing I've considered about, you know, applying for the Twitch affiliate status is that like you automatically have the ad program running. Your streams will generate advertising money, but you are also forced to have those mid-roll ads. You're forced to have an ad just appear. Like, if it's a new person joining your stream, it's like, oh, they have to sit through a 30-second, sometimes like 2 minutes worth of ads. Just, I don't know why, it's just Twitch deciding that they have to do it. And then every so often, you have to do an ad. And me as a stream, I guess manager, I don't know if I necessarily get told that my viewers are just getting pushed into an ad. I know that I can trigger an ad, which will then, as in, like, if I manually send an ad, I will have a bit of free time. But I also have no idea if, like, you know, there's automatic ads happening. And I've never been a fan of mid-roll ads. I've, like, every single one of my YouTube videos, and if you guys want to confirm this, feel free. Every single one of my YouTube videos that I've enabled monetization on, I only do the banner ads, the sidebar ads, and, there's another one. It's, like, sponsored or something, but it's, like, I never do. I have never manually enabled a pre-roll or a mid-roll video ad. It's exclusively been banners, because I feel like, you know, my time is money. I think there's a certain degree of, like, oh, I have to click on an ad to hide it, sure. But I don't waste my time seeing that, because, honestly, like, no video is, well, not many videos have enough content to justify, like, well, sorry, no, how do I say it? Having a little banner show up that I have to click is a bit annoying, but it's also, like, it doesn't take me out of my pacing of experiencing a video. Whereas, whereas, like, a pre-roll ad, it's like, oh, like, I dedicate my attention to viewing this ad, I have lost my train of thought. Mid-roll is, like, even worse, because it's like, when does it happen? I don't know. I don't know if you guys are like that, but, like, yeah, the idea of a mid-roll ad, and especially automatic mid-roll ads, because I wouldn't mind if Twitch was just like, hey, you know, like, we are going to roll an ad at this point in time. If you can give yourself an ad break, like, if you can queue yourself up, press a button to trigger an ad break, sure. That'd be a lot more acceptable, even if I'd still kind of go, hey, what if I need to do something for a very, very extended period of time? Because I think they only really let you, like, give yourself enough ads to do a 1 hour gap. And even then, like, if viewers come in late, you know, I think they get a bit left out on that one. And yeah, this is a stark contrast to, I guess, like, TV advertising, because TV advertising, you know, it's the one broadcast. Every single person viewing the broadcast gets the same, you know, TV show, the same ads. And so in doing so, like, the broadcaster can be very aware of what the ads are. For me, the ads are personalized. And they're also, they're region specific. I don't know what kinds of ads you're getting, so all I can say is you're getting, you know, told about products. Maybe, even. I don't know, sometimes you might get ads on Twitch about Twitch. But yeah, it's just like disconnect, I guess. And that's just the thing with internet advertising, is that it's also automatic, that it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel real, I guess is the sense. I've rarely had advertising, like, actually get me to buy a product. And that's maybe just me. I should probably step back. I've never had, like, video advertising at the beginning of my YouTube videos or something. I've never clicked on, well, maybe I've clicked on something just to, like, you know, go like, haha, I clicked on it. But, like, I don't recall ever paying money on anything that I've ever seen in a YouTube ad or a Twitch ad. That's not exclusively because of these platforms, but it's definitely, like, there's a lot of services, like, the only other one I really use is Twitter. I think Reddit's also got ads here and there, but a lot of them are just ads for other Reddits, which is a bit weird. But a lot of this advertising, it doesn't really, like, click across to me, because it doesn't feel like it's... Well, it feels like it's aimed at me, and yet it doesn't really, like, target me very well. I don't feel very much connection to some of the ads I'm getting. I get a lot of, like, fast food ads. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I do eat fast food, but, like, I've never gone and bought, say, a Macca's burger because, you know, like, oh, it's the new shaker fries from McDonald's or the new McRib, and I'm like, next time I go to McDonald's, I'm probably gonna get like a double quarter pounder. Next time I go to McDonald's, I don't like. Ever since since I moved away from the city, I have eaten McDonald's like once, I think. And it's just because, like, yeah, like, I mean, one, my ability to get McDonald's is a little bit, you know, different today in these conditions, I guess. But even then, like, you know, like, I go out, I want to eat something. What are my options? Like, McDonald's isn't really one of those, like, it's not available a lot of the time for me. But yet, I get advertising for it. Now, advertising for websites, it's like, okay, well, the availability of the website is a lot easier. But even then, like, I kind of want Herc to gain some levels. Just be, like, my general, like, go-to. Unless he gets, like, wing attacks right here. That'd be a bit tragic, wouldn't it? He's got strength. And he's fast. Yeah, I don't know. He does have wing attack. This is gonna be a little tragic. That's the one thing I gotta watch out on, that quad damage. That quad damage. It's gonna get in the way. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just really jaded when it comes to advertising. But, I don't know, like, it doesn't feel like it really clicks with me. And in doing so, yeah, it really annoys me when a website tells me off for, you know, having an ad blocker up. Because if I turn it off, it's like, oh, like, I actually miss your content. Your content disappears from your site because like, there's all these ads around it, and I actually keep, like, you know, missing where your content is. Not all sites, but definitely there's some sites where it's just like, that is the case. It's just obnoxious to view the site. Maybe this is, yeah, me, like, you know, treating my time on the internet as, like, pretty precious, because things are... treating my time on the internet as precious. Also me, 2-hour stream where I, you know, hold left and right, going back and forth, grinding for Pokemon. But you know what I mean? It's like, there's... I don't think I ever used Herc directly, actually. Because, yeah, he's only got 2 normal type attacks. But I guess that is his moveset. Yeah, no, he's gonna get absolutely annihilated. Alright, well, to the Noan boy. Noan boy is gonna be like my absolute, like, you know, magical, just like, you know, huge assortment of abilities kind of Pokemon. Like, he's got, like, you know, he's got 3 types to cover. And so many of my other Pokemon, like, just don't have anything at all. Oh well. So, yeah, that's me being jaded about advertising, but... you know, that's what the world needs. Everyone needs some money to run their servers, and, we don't have the, capabilities of running it. Here's something that would be absolutely, like, hilarious. Just as a completely shot-in-the-dark idea. What if, we had a government data center of some variety, that you could have credits to rent out and keep a server up or something. Like, every single person would go, hey, we are giving you a single citizen access to basically like a T2 micro. We're giving you that. You can have 1 T2 micro's worth of computer for free. And you could be like, oh, I can host a website on it, or I can host, you know, like my Minecraft server on it or something. And that's just like eternally there. And that's something that, like, you can just keep using. I feel like any of that is ripe for, like, data harvesting, but I'm curious if it's just, you know, like, a taxpayer, you know, like, computer system. Does that have merit? I don't know, I think there is merit in, like, every single person can have a website. Like, that seems cool. I don't know, I haven't thought of it much, but who knows? Could be a neat idea. Next time I make my own country, I'm doing that. Yeah, I've definitely had some weird ideas, and that's one of them, but who knows? Well, that was a good monologue about, advertising. I haven't really looked up, like, what else has, been going on in the world recently. I know that there was the PlayStation thing. Did that happen last week? I think it did. I'm losing track of time, I swear. Next time? Next time. Yeah, next time. Yeah. See, the last time it didn't go so well, but next time it'll be better, trust me. When was the last time? What was the one, like, little micronation in like, Western Australia? I forgot the name of the place. But, like, it sucks that they actually ceased to be a place anymore because of, COVID. But I forgot the name of the place. Sovereign nation in Australia. What was the one? Maybe I'm thinking like micronation. Oh, we apparently have. We apparently do have a lot of micronations according to Wikipedia. Lots of tiny islands to live on. Oh, true, I can also just get an island. Oh, I should do that. Real talk. Which would be cheaper? Buying an island somewhere out in the Pacific or buying a house? I feel like the island would be the cheaper option sometimes. I'd love just like a little island and then just like, you know, pay a bunch of people, build a place on it, call it a day. Get an internet cable. Sweet. You can get one of Australia's uninhabited islands and live there for free. Ah! Dude, it's cheaper. It's cheaper. That's the NBN time. I guess, technically, like, if I make it my own country, then I don't have to pay land tax, but I also don't think I'd be able to earn an income. Live off the land, you know? And if my land is uninhabitable sand, then I'm gonna have to figure things out. I would love to make, like, enough just, like, whatever wealth, such that I could probably just live out in the middle of nowhere. And then just pay sales tax, because I'm not living in anyone's country. That'd be a hilarious, like, way of living. Are there people who do that? I know there's people who have, like, their private islands. Like, incredibly rich people who pays import tax. Oh, I've gotta pay import tax? Well, no. The import tax is for me. It's like an export tax, though, isn't it? Because, like, if I want to buy, like, food, and then that's going out of the country, then it's like, oh, you know, you gotta pay extra for that. Surfer still has yet to reach that level 40. Oh, wait, no, he's already level 40. Did I just blink? I think I blinked. Okay, well. Take that off. Take the experience share. And Hot Doggo, have an experience share. Alright, so this is almost the moment you've been waiting for. There is one singular Pokemon that needs more experience. And that's it. Once this guy's reached level 40, I'm taking a shot at Elite Four, and if I'm off, which I hope not, I really hope not, because the max level of the Elite Four reaches level 50, but that's also, like, no trainer Pokemon in this game have effort values or the badge buffs. So I've got a lot of backing behind me because these are Pokemon that I've trained a considerable bit, so they've got those effort values because I've been fighting in battles. I should probably explain effort values. I've just been mentioning them. So the badge buffs, I think I've already mentioned. Just as you collect badges, you get like a little stat buff. So a certain stat goes up by 12.5%. So like, you know, attack, defense, speed, special attack, special defense. One of the badges you get through the game will up a certain stat by 12.5%. So you get a natural just benefit there. And then on top of that, any move you use that's based on the type of the gym badge also has an additional 12.5%. So unfortunately, water is not in that boat, but ice is. And so is flying, and so is ghost. Steel. I don't know, it's escaping me, but there's a bit of that. And now, so effort values. And I'm gonna look this up just to confirm that it's not different between some of the older games, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah, that's okay. No, yeah, yeah, no, it's actually really weird in Gen 2, so I'm just gonna read the Proof Bulbapedia headline. So, in Generations 1 and 2, effort points given are equal to the base stats of the defeated Pokemon species. The Pokemon data structure in Gen 1 contains 2 bytes for each of the 5 stats, HP, attack, defense, speed, and special, starting at 0 when caught, and with a maximum effort value of 65,535 for each stat. When a Pokemon is defeated, its base stats are converted to effort values, or effort points, and then added to the effort values. For example, defeating a Mew grants 100 effort points to each effort value. Defeating 656 Mew will therefore give a Pokemon maximum effort values. They factor into the Pokemon stats when it levels up. Additionally, effort values are calculated into stats when a Pokemon is taken from Bill's PC. This is called the Box Trick. A Pokemon which reaches level 100 can continue to acquire effort values up to the maximum, and then use the Box Trick to have those effort values factored in. I have not heard of this Box Trick. Vitamins add 2,560 to one stat effort value, but can't raise a stat above 25,600. At level 100, the formula for determining the stat difference between a Pokemon trained in the stat and an untrained Pokemon is the square root of that stat experience divided by 4, with the square root rounding upwards, unless that would take it above 255, and the whole calculation rounding downwards. Effort values behave the same in Gen 2 as they did Gen 1. Special attack and special defense share the effort value for special to maintain compatibility. The amount of special EVs received is equal to the defeated Pokemon special attack base stat. The Box Trick can still be used, and Gen 2 introduced Poke Rust, which doubles the effort values gained in battle. Okay, so it's fairly different. So those base stats are, I guess, the same stats that a Pokemon has. Well, there's like an underlying stat which determines how good a Pokemon's stats end up being, but there's a certain like base and value that is used, and so that's the base value that you're getting in each of these. So every time I beat this Golbat, I'm gaining a fair bit of speed stat. I feel like all my Pokemon are probably gaining a fair bit of speed because of just like, you know, how many of these other Pokemon are there. Like Onyx is not fast. Oh, Onyx is actually pretty okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, I guess, the stats just go up on a different level. But let's check out this Box Trick as well, because that's interesting. Also, I should just use Ice Punch. I don't know why I'm not using Ice Punch. So the Box Trick is apparently causes a Pokemon stats to be recalculated based on its current effort values It is applicable in Gens 1 through to 4, but not in Gen 5 onwards, because changes in the Pokemon's effort values are automatically applied to its stats. A Pokemon's stats are derived values based on the Pokemon's level, effort values, individual values, base stats, and from Gen 3 onwards, nature. If a Pokemon levels up or evolves, its level or base stats change, and all of its stats are recalculated. However, prior to Gen 5, a Pokemon's stats are not always recalculated when its effort values are changed. From Gen 1 to Gen 4, even if a Pokemon gains effort values in battle, its stats remain unchanged unless it is leveled up or evolved. In Gen 2, gaining effort values by consuming vitamins does not cause a Pokemon's stats to be recalculated either. So if a Pokemon is placed in this PC, its stats will be recalculated without the need to level up or evolve. Doing this intentionally is known as the box trick. This occurs because the derived stats are not stored for Pokemon in the PC, only the values for which they're derived. The more you know. The more you know. That's a new one for me. They've even got a little page for the data structure of how a Pokemon exists. And so here we go. We have, and this is a bit of an interesting one. So and yeah, you can just look this up if you want. It's on Bubblepedia. Pokemon data structure Gen 2. It has a length of 48 bytes for the Pokemon in the player's party, and 32 bytes for Pokemon in boxes or Bill's PC. The information lost when depositing a Pokemon in Bill's PC is status, condition, HP, attack, defense, speed, special attack, or special defense. So, yeah, so the 6 stats that they have, which are 2-byte values, I believe. Yeah. So the structure of it, 1 byte for the index number of the species, and that's a fun one as well, is that, like, yeah, so it's a value between 0 and 255. That's probably a big reason why Gen 2 doesn't introduce, like, it only introduces 100 new Pokemon, so pushing the total number up to 251. That puts it very close to that 255 limit, and I feel like if they had, like, you know, a lot of ideas for other ones, they were like, no, hold it back, guys, come on. The next slot is a single byte determining the index number of a held item. I assume that's an underlying number, just indicating, hey, this is an item of this type. And then 1 byte 4 times for the index number of moves 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, I assume there's 255 moves. You've got your original trainer ID, which is 2 bytes. So that's... yeah, that's your trainer number. Experience points is 3 bytes. 3 bytes puts you at, what does 3 bytes put you at? To the power of 24. What's that? 16 million. Okay, that makes sense, actually. I guess the Pokemon's experience goes up, like, most Pokemon only really go around a million experience before they're at level 100. But I guess that's curious, because you can still keep pumping experience into a Pokemon. So I guess they stop at 16 million. They're just gonna go, maybe they stop at, no. They stop at 7 nines. Maybe that's it. That's a pretty clean point to end it. And then, so 2 bytes for the effort value data on HP, attack, defense, speed, special, yeah. So 2 bytes on those. Individual values are kind of interesting because it's 2 bytes, but they're actually, like, nibbles. So they're 4 bits for each. You're gonna get a bit annihilated, so I'm gonna switch over to... I'll actually switch to the fluffer on this one. That's neat. You've got the PP values as well for each of the 4 moves. So that's also 1 byte. And that's actually kind of interesting as well. So it tracks the number of PP ups you've used on a move in 2 bits of that move PP, and then the other 6 bits of current PP. So 6 bits being 64. I guess the move's max PP. Actually, that's the current PP, so... But still, it's like you can only have 64 of a move, and then it's got to track whether you've used the PP up 3 times. I think that's the limit on a move. So 1 byte for each of the 4 moves. We've got 1 byte for the personality value. For the friendship value. 1 byte for Pokerust, which... I gotta look up Pokerust, because I know that you can get Pokerust and then, like, that's it. Or, you know, it's there or it's not there. But I don't know what it's got in the whole byte of sat. We've got 2 bytes for court data, 1 byte for level. Well, the level has to sit there as well. It's not computed based off the experience. 1 byte for status condition. There's apparently an unused byte. 2 bytes for current HP. 2 bytes for max HP. Or actually, well, the rest of the stats. So I guess, yeah, so that status condition, the unused byte, and then 2 bytes for HP, max HP, attack, defense, speed, special attack, special defense. That's your remaining 16 bytes that would get trimmed off because of being in the box. So yeah, that seems kind of interesting. I love how, like, people are able to break down, I guess, like, how a Pokemon's structure is in memory. But I guess, yeah, in theory, like, I mean, all these people who do, you know, like, PK edit, is that the one? Like, you can do a lot of cheeky things to, you know, change your Pokemon, and that's one thing where it's like, some people are like, oh, I legitimately trained this Pokemon all the way up, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then some people are like, oh, I just, you know, edited the Pokemon in, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's also a thing. I feel like at some point, I'd get too tired of a game, and I start, like, modding the heck out of it, maybe. Not Pokemon, but, like, I remember doing that with Borderlands. I used to kind of, like, just be like, oh, like, it's such a slog to, like, play through the game with different characters. I don't know, I'm still this weird kind of guy who just, you know, will rag on the first game. I think the second one's alright. I have not played any of the others. I've not played Pre-Sequel, I've not played 3. But the first game, I got very interested in, like, trying to dive down into how the save file works. Because there's a lot of curious things I found, such as the fact that you can give yourself up to a 32-bit signed integer inventory size. Maybe it's just the connection? Maybe it is. But yeah, like, I would legitimately give yourself that. Give yourself, I think it's, I think you have 1 byte for the number of skill points you have, and I'm like, oh, just give yourself as many skill points as you need. You can't, it doesn't let you push your skills beyond, like, the levels they should be, despite there being, you know, items that give you perks into skills. I don't know, I haven't been able to, like, I guess, like, entirely modify items, so I don't know how to give myself guns that are absolutely broken. But I'm curious if the capability is there, because you can definitely change a lot of your person's stats to, well, you can't really, actually, because a lot of your stats are tied to just what level you are and what your items are. 2 players of the same class at the same level have the same, like, amount of health. So, but it's curious, I guess, just like, you know, what limits can the game actually go to? I always find that's a bit interesting. So Pokemon's a bit of an interesting one, because it's like, yeah, I mean, you can hack the game, like, you can be that kind of guy who hacks the game to just, you know, wreck on people in competitive, but I'm also, I do really like the idea of going, oh, he was frozen today. I am really curious, like, at what point, you know, games let you push those save files. Because, like, yeah, it's kind of interesting that, like, how some games do work when you put in certain save data. I know, like, you know, for a game like Pokemon and other handheld games, or really any other multiplayer game, you know, They get very dicey if you're sending information that's not legit, and then they kind of can guarantee that's not legit. And yeah, I mean, like, it's entirely up to their discretion, and I'm not advocating for people to be hacking video games, purely just to screw with people online. But I am very, very curious of, like, especially, also networking stuff. Like Manprofs are, like, people who are reversing, like, old video game online services and just trying to go, like, hey, my, like, you know, machine sends this kind of input, or it sends this kind of, like, packets, and then it expects to see certain other kinds of packets. So we need to somehow create a server that is able to, like, logically make sense how it's sending things back. But on top of that, you could pretend to be the client on an actual server, and you could go, hey, like, you know, if I say I'm over here, what does that do? does that actually, like, commit to it? Who knows? There's a lot of games that are smart enough to go, hey, like, you know, I can go, hey, you know, the client expects to be able to move within a certain window, and I'll honor that. But if that client thinks it's moving faster than I think it should be moving, I'm moving it back, like that kind of stuff. I think Team Fortress 2 is pretty good at doing that, whereas like it does try to logically determine where the player can go, and in doing so, it actually you know, does prevent some horrendous hacking. Although I don't think it's prevented it forever, but. How's Hot Doggo doing? He's all 36 though, isn't he? Yeah. He's taking his time. Because the worst part is that, yeah, you can see he's got more experience points than... Well, maybe not Heracross. Maybe not No Boy, actually. He's got more than Ampharos. But... still... Yeah, no, it's, I don't know, it's kind of curious. I guess, yeah, just save file and network editing also, like, it doesn't require you to actually, like, dissect the game itself. It definitely helps if you know what the game is expecting to do with network packets and save data. But it is also curious, I guess, because, like, especially if you're on a computer, and your game is on a computer, the save file is sitting there. And you can just go, hey, I'll open that up in a hex editor, and I'll just, you know, investigate it. And maybe I'll, you know, I could tweak a thing and then just see how the game responds after that. Actually, I tried doing that with, Crosswords DS. Or Crossword DS, as it's, referred to on the box. And you know what I'm amazed about? It's, like, it's really clear where some of the information is being stored. Like, you've got your account or your profile name, and then, like, I can see, oh, there's this one part where, like, suddenly all these FFFFFFF values disappear, and I suddenly get, like, I think there's, like, a series of, like, 5 bytes, and it's, like, 1 byte's the number of clues used, 1 byte's the number of seconds, 1 byte's the number of minutes, 1 byte's the number of hours, and I'm like, oh, that seems easy enough, I'll give myself, like, 1 hour on this puzzle, and then the game goes, your save file is corrupted, like, we're rejiggering it. It's a, I've backed up the save, don't worry. But, like, I'm thinking, oh, it must be doing, like, a checksum of some kind somewhere. So it's actually got a little bit of protection for it, and not just, like, here is a loose value, and if you change that loose value, it's there. It's like, no, it's legitimately figured out that, you know, there's a spot... Well, sorry, it's legitimately gone, hey, there's a problem. I don't know if it's just writing the value in 2 places, and I just need to investigate where that is, but... It's curious that, yeah, you can spot this kind of stuff in your save files, because a lot of save files are not that smart. And if they are that smart, then, you know, what are they doing? Maybe they're encoding something. They're doing a base 64 on it. People who use base 64 to hide things, I'm just like, what are you doing, bro? But yeah, no, it's good fun. I recommend if you're a bit of a programming investigative type, take a game that you enjoy, take its save files, and see if you can slot whatever the heck you want into it. I don't know how easy it is for a game like Skyrim, a game that continually grows in file size as you keep playing it. Maybe just keep simple, for starters. Start with like an NES game with a battery save, or something. But yeah, it's good fun, because you don't have to be able to like actually inject anything into your game. You're just doing a file tweak. If you're doing networking, that's a bit trickier, but I guess the principle's still the same. Just pull out like Wireshark and just see if you can... Can you play like network packets in Wireshark? I don't know if you can. You can probably still mock packets with any program, really. But, yeah. That's good stuff. Gosh, that hot doggo. Okay, real talk, if he's not ready by 1 hour 20, I'm just committing. I'm just going in. So that's in 20 minutes for those who are sitting at home. Which I think is everyone. Oh, let's just get in with the Ice Punch. I'm gonna switch out to Chicky, because I feel like Chicky probably needs a little bit more experience as well. Of everyone on my team, I'm worried about Chicky probably the most. And then maybe Ampharos. And then maybe Growlithe above all of them. How has Growlithe just been, like, just the most disappointing thing on my team? I don't understand it. I think it's just because you can catch a Growlithe rather early on, and you have no means of evolving it. I think that's purely it, so who knows? I'll probably be able to, you know, get Flamethrower, because that's level 50, isn't it? Yeah, level 50, so who knows? Yeah, I think people are very tired of fighting things on Victory Road. I've said it last stream and I'll say it again. I do not understand how I was able to not have to sit and grind on anything before this point, including the trainer who literally sits right here, and yet the very, very next thing absolutely wipes me. And maybe I'm extrapolating because I took one singular attempt, but I'm like, if that Pokemon wipes me, like, what happened in between? Like, there's a little bit of a level gap, sure, but like, that can't explain that whole thing. I think that's more than just that, but yeah, no, my solution is, I feel like I just need to be faster, have something faster. And unfortunately for that Xatu, I came in with the wrong Pokemon at the front of my party, first of all. What a mean move as well. You got your rock, your ground type, cave, and then right afterwards, flying type. And psychic as well, so don't even try going with fighting if you went in with fighting. And yeah, he just knows psychic. And quick attack, like just everything to ruin your day, so. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. That's the world we're in. Hacking games and complaining about advertising. That's the state we're in. If anyone has any stories, feel free to chime in or whatever, but no, that's all good. How to make your streams less sad. Fart noises, I guess. That's probably how to do it. I have continued working on my Rayman 2 times. I realize as well I should be comparing with game time and not real time. Although real time is definitely pretty good, but game time is just like, it's a minute shorter. There's a couple of bits here and there. I've apparently pushed it down to 2 minutes 8 with a run I did on Friday. Was it Friday or? Yeah, I think it was Friday. So I pushed it down like 8 minutes. It's pretty alright. But also, surprisingly, I was bad in different sections, and so my best of all my sections has actually dropped down to 2 hours 1, which I'm actually kind of excited if I can pull a run that's less than 2 hours in game time. I don't really know if I can get like dramatically better, because there's a kind of gnarly skip that I can figure out. I've seen someone do it, and I'm like, ooh, like, okay, sure, but yeah, I feel like there's a lot of room in that game to push up, but you gotta just get better and better at it. Unfortunately, I'm a bit inconsistent on some of the bosses. Chicky is so confused. He can't even hit this bat. There you go, Chicky. Imagine being in this cave and just seeing this kid absolutely wipe out your entire nest of rock snakes and poison bats. He just keeps hanging out in this cave. He's been doing this for 2 weeks. Is there a law on, like, attacking the wildlife in any Pokemon game? There's the Safari Zone. They do have things on that. They let you throw rocks at them, but they don't, like, I don't know, they let me beat up all these bats all the time. And I guess they're okay with it as well, because they keep saying Victory Road is, like, you know, the toughest challenge for all, like, trainers, because it's like, you gotta battle the environment. And it's like, so you're encouraging all these kids to train up monsters such that they can beat up everything in this cave. And not just this cave, a lot of other caves as I went along as well. At some point, Pokemon are going to evolve to just not be anywhere near us. They're going to bail real hard. Like, either you're going to be a pet, you know, or you're just going to, you know, move far away from human civilization. And yet, they're gonna do, you know, we got Pokemon Legends Arceus coming out in 4 months. And that's like at the time when, like, oh, this guy's pioneering. He's wandering around to these Pokemon homes. They've been living there for generations, which is probably about like 20 years, but and then he just comes over, throws some balls at him, and calls it a day. Like, remember those, like, crazy people at the time who were, like, saying, like, Pokemon is, like, the mark of the devil or something? It's like, man, how? You capture monsters? Like, I think that was it. I think that was the justification. I don't know why, like, there's this crazy, I'm gonna say specifically religious, but I definitely know, like, not exclusively, and certainly not a dig at religious groups in general, but like whenever there's a group of people, you know, like if it's not Pokemon, it was GDA, it was Doom. I'm rather certain there was another one as well, like a much more tame game that just like got the ire of Mortal Kombat did. Must have been earlier. Must have been earlier as well. Probably other things as well, like just non-video games. But it's just like, they're always the target of like this kind of light screen. Do I learn light screen? I think I got rid of Reflect, didn't I? Oh, I've got Reflect. Oh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. Nah, I'm gonna keep Reflect. That's probably a bad move. But yeah, like it's a crazy thing for me, because I just kind of feel like, oh, like, you know, it's a game. Kids love this game. You capture monsters. Everyone plays the game differently. That's actually, hold on, that is the thing that I feel like a lot of kids love. They love the kinds of games that you play differently, because as I said, there was GDA, there was Doom. Doom's even got, like, you know, a fair bit of variety for being a, you know, level-to-level shooter, but even then, like, there's that. I know a lot of kids really like the, you know, like, Skyrim and that kind of stuff. And I feel like, yeah, kids really love just having those experiences where everyone kind of plays the game a bit differently and not... I don't know, actually, because then there was also Portal 2, and I'm pretty sure everyone plays Portal 2 the exact same way. Everyone has that, like, realization moment at the very end of the game when you shoot the moon, and they're like, whoa! Even though, like, the game literally points you at the moon. It's like, you know, you gotta do that. It does it in a really good way, but it's also just like, you know, it's a very linear end to the game. You are railroaded into making that decision. I don't know if you can sit there forever. I think it actually does tell you off. But Imagine using Confuse Ray twice. But yeah, I feel like that's actually a thing, is that there's a lot of games out there that kids play that do have that variety in how people play them. Even stuff that's like The Sims has that kind of appeal to kids. I remember Roller Coaster Tycoon being kind of big. I'm trying to think, what's another one? What's another game that was like that? It was mostly Pokemon. I think it was My Circle. My Circle was big on Pokemon for the longest time. I'm like, fair enough. Hot Doggo go to level 30? I think Hot Doggo actually could make it to level 40. And if not, 39. Close enough. Close enough. So for those of you who are just chiming in, I am grinding Pokemon for another 8.5 minutes, and I'm going, screw it, I'm fighting the league. Because this kind of me going back and forth and finding topics to talk about, because I'm not really progressing at all in the game, yeah. For reference as well, I got to here with probably my highest level being, I think I did give Growlithe some rare candy, so they did get to level 34. But every other Pokemon was like 31 or 32. They were rather behind. And then I fought the rival, did alright. First trainer in the Elite Four, yeah, nah, so give myself another 8 minutes, and I'm gonna hope that whatever levels I've gotten everything to have been good enough. You still get a fair bit of experience, but yeah. I find Pokemon Cries to be like a really weird thing that they've kept up. And not just like try to modernize, like they still kind of keep those weird digitized sounds that they've done, instead of trying to, I guess, go like, hey, like, you know, what does a Pokemon actually sound like? But like they could just give it like like that kind of, you know, some real voice instead of an actual 8-bit sound. I don't know. But I think the thing is that they kept up that sound in like Pokemon Stadium, didn't they? And then at that point, it's like, well, I mean, if the big Pokemon experience still has the sounds, then what do you do? One day I'll play a Pokemon Stadium. One day. One day. So yeah, what other exciting games are coming out? GTA 5 is coming out in March. How does GTA 5 get delayed at this point? That's a crazy thing. That should have been a launch title for the PS5, instead it's like a year out now. A year and a half out of the PS5 release. That's crazy. That's crazy that like those consoles have been out for nearly a year now, actually. Because like, I can't even think of any real big exclusives to get on them, and I know it's only been a year. And like, to give Nintendo the best and worst, they did a great job having two incredibly great titles on the Switch out, like, within 12 months. Breath of the Wild on day one, it's just like, Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Yeah, there is Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Okay, real talk, the thing that irks me is that is coming to PC, but I think they said you're paying for it, and it's also coming to PS4 and Xbox One as a paid upgrade. I'm like, why? What technical reason is there to charge for it beyond, but not for PS5 and Xbox Series X? Like, I'm not okay with paying for it, but I'm okay with everyone paying for it. I don't understand why the new console players get it for free. And especially me as a PC player. Because it's like, sure, okay. I am really curious, actually. That Anniversary Edition, I know it's a meme of paying for Skyrim again, but I would absolutely love to know how incredibly different the game feels with all of those, like, custom mods in it. Because that's what the game is. It could be disappointing me. A mod could just be, like, one sword, and then they added, like, 500 one-sword mods and called it a day. It could disappoint me like that, but I would love if, like, you know, like, a solid couple dozen of them are, like, questline mods, maybe there's some usability ones in there. Obviously, they're adding in the fishing, so there's something practical in there. So I'm actually, I'm unironically looking a little more forward to Skyrim than a lot of other games. GTA 5, is there anything that the new console version is getting beyond, I think, the fact that GTA Online is, like, cutting support for the last-gen consoles at some point? I think that's it, really. I'm looking forward to Gran Turismo 7, even as someone who hasn't played 5, 6, or Sport. I'm just going, yeah, like, Gran Turismo, and I still enjoy it. But I don't know, like, I didn't really feel like there was really anything to sell someone on a PS5 beyond the Spider-Man Miles Morales combination game, which I feel like it runs better on the PS5, so it probably makes sense. You know, a more definitive edition. I can't really think of any other games. Those Demon Souls, but like, I feel like there's not much of an issue of playing it on the PS3. I can't think of any other exclusives. Xbox Series X, like, what exclusives are there? Every single one of those has come to PC, which is fine given the price of consoles and the price of graphics cards right now, but as a person with a PC with a graphics card, yeah. I don't know what would sell me on an Xbox Series X. Like, that's the console. It's there. Who knows? But yeah, at least for Nintendo, it's like, hey, there was Breath of the Wild Day 1, and that's an absolutely gnarly game with that. I feel like people are hating on it now, after it being like, oh, it's a... Not because it's old, but because, like, it was really popular. I feel like it's just become cool to hate it, but honestly, like, I don't know, man. I don't know, I think that one's actually, like, a good one. You can't just hate it because it's cool. It might have been overhyped, to be honest, in the sense of, like, people universally were loving it, and then, like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who the game probably isn't exactly for. But I do... Oh, there goes my phone again, man. I'm gonna call it there, actually. I don't know what level Growlithe is. I'm just gonna go in for it. Yeah, I can't think of any other games. Alright, so Hot Doggo, take off that, experience share, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give it a Herc. Why not? He needs experience, he's got that slow leveling. And then Hot Doggo needs the charcoal. So I've got a lot of, you're LA, jeez. So I've got a lot of revives and, full restores. So what always spooks me about the Elite Four is, do you commit to saving in between, but then you won't have items if you do burn too many items beforehand? And that's the part that always gets me, and I just saved before I switched, didn't I? Or did I actually switch? Yeah, no. So, I'm gonna run in with Fluffer at the front. Wrong move. But I don't know if Fluffer is fast enough. I just know that Fluffer will be able to, at least go in against R2. Alternatively, I could send No On Boy. I actually could send No On Boy, actually. I'm actually gonna go with No On Boy. He's slower, but I think that that's probably the point. Is that his other stats are gonna back him up. Okay, you did it, guys. You had the long haul, and we're finally in. I'm finally taking another stab at the Elite Four. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Will, as in, I will not have the will to live after fighting him. Alright, so, take 2, after 2 weeks of fighting things, on the Elite Four. And who knows, I might just be over level this act. So Will here is a Psychic type Elite Four trainer. All of his Pokemon are Psychic type. He comes in starting with Xatu, level 40. It's got Quick Attack, Future Sight, Psychic, and Confuse Ray, and is slower than this Quagsire. And is frozen. Well, there you go. I have immediately made more progress than I did 2 weeks ago. I'm worried I'm over-leveled. I'm just going to commit anyways. Next Pokemon he's going to send out is Exeggutor. Watch out, because he doesn't have any Grass-type attacks. He's got Leech Seed. That's not a damaging type move. He's also got Egg Bomb, Reflect, and Psychic. Every single one of his Pokemon knows Psychic, so... Don't think you've got a free pass. But... Exeggutor is an absolute, like, tank of a Pokemon, by the way. Don't sleep on Exeggutor. He's got great stuff. Was I special? I think it's special. I should be fine as long as I'm using special attacks. So, I'm cool there. Alright, so... that's the Exeggutor. Cool. Okay. Next one. He's gonna come out with Jinx. Jinx is... I don't know. Do I go with Hot Dog on this one? I guess I do. Don't have a choice. Jinx knows Ice Punch, Double Slap, Psychic, and Lovely Kiss. It's also female. You can't force the gender on the Jinx, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, yeah, Jinx is probably gonna be faster than Hot Doggo consistently. But Psychic is gonna wreck. Man, I had Quagsire sweeping, and then I had Growler just go, yeah, nah. What's the point? What's the point? I don't have a use for Growlithe in the rest of the fight, so... I should have gone with Shuckle, shouldn't I? Oh well. Let's see. Yeah, I'm running an issue where Bearbat's poison and Hercules is fighting. So they're both going to absolutely cop it in some way. So I actually think the safest bet here is either just go with No Arm Boy being faster, or commit with Fluffer. Chicky would be okay, but I don't think Chicky's fast enough. Well, I guess Fluffer's also not fast enough, but... I'm committing. Oh. Uh-oh, we're going in with the Lovely Kiss. That's just mean. So, that's a force 3 turns. Yeah, I think it's a force 3 turns. Oh, like the Psychic attacks... Sorry, the using Psychic is like such a gnarly move. And then you go with Double Slap, like... Oh wait, this is just regular sleep. Sorry, it's not rest sleep. This is like up to 7 turn sleep, if it feels like it. This is up to 7 turn sleep. I'm getting up to 7 turned on me. Well, you know what I've got? That's what it's there for. 2 things. But I could just get annihilated by Psychic anyways. I hate existing. I hate existing. Oh my gosh. Yep, you get 5 hits again, by the way. And I think he's actually gone. Darn. Oh, it is 1 to 5 turns. That's 1 to 5 turns and it still took forever. Okay. I'm going for Babat for a sweep attack. I know, right? It's like, yeah, okay. I know Babat would get wrecked, but Babat is also just faster. So, just commit. Just get one. Alright. I'm not sweeping! That Jinx definitely had showed me a bad time. Alright, we got Slowbro. This is one where I can actually set out Chicky, so it's okay. We got Slowbro. Slowbro knows Amnesia, Curse, Psychic, and Body Slam. that's, Curse is a fun attack, because in this case, I would increase his attack, defense, and lower his speed. And Slowbro is not very fast, so it's actually not a bad, like, setup. Using Amnesia as well, like, I've got it on a Quagsire, and yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Except Grass is special, so that actually is gonna cop it. I don't think Slowbro is, like, as deadly as probably some of the other ones. Yeah, I don't think his stats are as high. Dropping my special defense is just a bit rough as well. Like, not only is Psychic an incredibly strong attack, and also a lot of Psychic types are rather good Pokemon, but also it drops your special defense. It's just, oh, whatever. Last one is another Xatu. It's the same moveset as before, so we're going back to Noan Boy. So Quick Attack, Future Sight, Psychic, and Confuse Ray, but this one's level 42, so it's a little stronger than the last one. Noan Boy is still fast. What is happening here? I have absolutely no ability to, like, get away with using, Heracross or Golbat in this fight, which really sucks, because they're actually, like, pretty solid on my end. But, like, I guess Crobat is probably okay for, like, being a bit quick, but... And Noan Boy is about to get, like, swept. Oh, no, we got him. Alright, we're good. We're good. The casualties are not too high. Alright, we did it, guys. One down. Even though I was defeated, I won't change my course. Hold on, I'm also just gonna look up, if you get knocked out, how much money do you lose in this game? My brain was thinking half, but that's actually really high, isn't it? So in Gen 1, Gen 2, and so on, the amount of money lost is simply half the money a player has. In Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Gen 4 onwards, it's based on a formula. So it actually seems it's the level that the player's highest Pokemon is, and the base payout is formed by a table that is determined by the number of badges you have. That number goes up to 120, and that's times your highest level Pokemon. So that can go up to 12,000, I imagine. But in this game, because of this half of your money, I got 4,200 out of that, so I feel like I'm not really making a profit. I can gradually grind a little more, I guess, you know, money if I buy some stuff and then manage to beat this guy without using items. But I don't know, I don't trust myself in, like, being able to grind that. So, I've got one max potion, which I'm just gonna burn, but I'm legit gonna burn some full restores on this, because this is the one time that you really do need to burn items. You have to fight these strong trainers, and also not die. So, you're playing a bit of a game of attrition here. But hey, as long as my formula is if I'm not burning 6 of any of these in one battle, I'm doing okay. So, anyways, onwards to victory, to suffering. Here we have this guy. I am Koga of the Elite Four. I live in shadows, a ninja. I didn't switch up my leading Pokemon. I'm just going in for it. My intricate style will confound and destroy you. Confusion, sleep, poison. Prepare to be the victim of my sinister technique. Pokemon is not merely about brute force. You shall see soon enough. Alright, it's first Pokemon. I got a safety net. So, this is Koga. He used to be a gym leader in the last game, and now he's an actual Elite Four guy. He is promoted in the world, so good on him. His type forte is poison. And, fortunately, 3 of his Pokemon are Bug-type. So, this gives Babette a prime opportunity to go in. This first one is Ariados. It knows Spiderweb, Double Team, Baton Pass, and Giga Drain. I really hope he doesn't use Double Team and then Baton Pass a ton. I'm hoping that I can just sweep him in 1 or 2 attacks. Oh, I was hoping it was 1 attack. Alright. So it's gonna be a bit obnoxious with Double Team, but his health is so low. Okay, alright, no issue, no issue. Giga Drain is the scary attack, but it's also like, I mean, bad. Giga Drain is not going to do that much. His next one is Venomoth. Venomoth is bug poison. It's not flying. Don't think it is. It knows Gust, Supersonic, Toxic, and Psychic. I should probably thought of the Psychic part. I'm just gonna hope he can take it, because at the very least, Venomoth is not a Psychic type, so he doesn't get stabbed. Or he can sweep him like that. Cool. Toxic is probably the meanest attack, and 3 of his Pokemon have it. Here comes the third one in this list, Fortress. I'm curious what I actually should send against Fortress, because this is a bit of an interesting one. Just thinking, like, I'm gonna go in. We're going with Hot Doggo. Because Fortress is only weak to one singular type, and that's fire. Fortress is also not that fast, and a lot of his strength comes from his physical defense, not his special defense. So that means I think Hot Doggo actually has a good chance to be a thing that exists. This Fortress only knows Spikes, Swift, Protect, and Explosion. So you're just hoping that he doesn't just drop an explosion on you. But yeah, the 4 times weakness, and also the fact that he's actually not too strong in special defense, means there's actually a prime real estate. Now here comes the thing, the 2 remaining Pokemon are not bug type, so I can't rely on that. The first one is Muck. Again, who do I send out against Muck? Because I always keep forgetting, is Muck a special or a physical wall? He's a special wall, isn't he? Yeah, he's more special, so that means if I've got something physical, that'll be alright. Pure Poison type, I think... I got it. Yeah, cool. Alright, so this Muck, level 42, he knows Sludge Bomb, Minimize, Toxic, and Acid Armor. I think I can get away with using Earthquake on him. I think that's probably my best bet. Yeah, there we go. Cool. There we go. Got our no-arm boy reaching level 43. Cool. Alright, last one in the list is Crobat. Listen, someone's gotta have a Crobat, so... I'm feeling the best bet is... It could be no-arm boy. I'm gonna take an attempt with Fluffer, but... I don't know, I'm thinking no-arm boy, actually. So the Crobat is level 44. We're starting to get those levels going up high. It does Wing Attack, Double Team, Quick Attack, and Toxic, which is actually not... Like, Toxic is a bit of a gnarly attack, but... His strat is literally just to, like, try and dodge all of your stuff, so... I don't expect to get him in one. Yeah, nah. Oh yeah, also, they'll use items. I'm surprised the last one didn't use any items, but... I don't know how many items they do limit themselves to using, but... Sure. By the way, the general strat, I guess, is that, don't do it. Okay, done. He can't really do anything about Fluffer here. So... It's super effective. Well, that was him, so yeah. Yeah, if you've got any Pokemon with a Psychic type attack, you're just easy. I subjected you to everything I could muster, but my efforts failed. I must hone my skills. Go on to the next room and put your abilities to the test. Alright, so first of all, I'm gonna just, like, pre-plan what am I up against in the next gym. Oh, freaking, this is a Babat trainer. And then on top of that, I didn't take much damage, did I? So, do I have just, like, a small healing item? Nah. Oh well, that's a full restore. You guys are gonna hate how often I use full restores. Just like, 10 health, full restore. You see lava, you're like, oh no. And then you go, never mind. I am Bruno of the Elite Four. I always train to be to the extreme because I believe in our potential. That is how we became strong. Can you withstand our power? I see no fear in you. You look determined, perfect for battle. You ready, Beandale? You will bow down to our overwhelming power. Hooah! So this is Bruno. He is actually a fighting guy. So, he sends out Hitmonchan, which is actually a Pokemon that is really hard to get, but you technically can get it by now. Actually, I skip getting Tyrogue. You can get a Tyrogue, but it's so late game. But Hitmonchan's a bit interesting. This guy knows Quick Attack. There it is, there's Quick Attack. Let's get in a quick one in there. Dig, Detect, and Pursuit. Pursuit can be a bit of a jerk move, because the AI will just use it when you're about to use it. Detect is just, like, I can't hit it this turn. It's just wasting my PP. And then he's gonna use Quick Attack again, because as if he's gonna use Dig. But it's not too bad. He's not too bad. So yeah. Next up on the list is Onyx. Why yes, the fighting type Onyx. This will be a cheeky go. This Onyx is level 43, knowing Rock Slide, Sandstorm, Earthquake, and Bind. Probably on the upper echelon of... You've got to be kidding. On the upper echelon of Onyx moves, like Rock Slide and Earthquake are definitely on the... You know, you don't want to be caught on the opposite side of that, and I'm really sad that I couldn't just kill him in one go. Instead it had to be 2 goes, and I had to get in the bind, as it were. There we go. I don't think any of these guys are really, like, too in the way of any of my Pokemon. Just generally in the way. Next one, he's got Hitmonchan. I'm gonna take my chances with Babat, but this is the one that actually could mean something a bit mean. So this Hitmonchan knows, and here's the mean moveset: Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Mac Punch. He's got Thunder Punch. He can ruin my day if I want to. I think the only Pokemon on my list that probably whose day isn't going to be ruined is... Oh, he's got Ice Punch as well. Yeah, well, so I'm like, oh yeah, well, Ice Punch is also... That was not much damage. I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. That's still level 40. Like, out of all the other Pokemon I over-leveled on my team, he's the one who's not even over-leveled. So, alright. He's got Machamp. Oh boy. I'm going in for it. So, Machamp is his Kingpin Pokemon here at level 46. It knows Rock Slide, Foresight, Cross Chop, and Vital Throw. I'm expecting Rock Slide to ruin my day again. The AI is really predictable. They know exactly what's super effective against me, but again, I'm committing to it. I'm expecting Babat to... not quite live. Done. That's okay. He's got nothing that really can, like, annihilate the rest of my team, so... I can't really go on with Hercules on this one. Not with the Rock Slide. Actually, can I? I think I can, actually. I always keep forgetting, like, type combinations. It's been forever. Oh yeah, I actually am safe. I'm gonna commit to it. The fighting type Juggernauts come at it again. With one attacking move. But sure, I'll take it. Oh, really? Yeah, Machamp is a bit of a... Oh, really? Ah, come on, bro. Oh well. I think I had like Sword Stance or something, you know? That's okay. I'm still faster. Cross Chop? I can't hit it, bro. Can't hit it. Hey, you're not allowed that. That's illegal. No crits. This is a crit-free Discord. Let's get that double experience, why not? Alright, last one on this team is not a Juggernaut, it's just Hitmonlee, so, I don't know. Who do you send out against Hitmonlee? I'm just gonna send no one, boy. He seems to be doing the job. So Hitmonlee here, only level 42, so not as strong as the other ones. Double kick, foresight, high jump kick, swagger. Nothing too weird, just swagger is I guess one. So what Swagger does is it ups your attack by 2 stats, but confuses you. Which, you may be wondering, doesn't that seem like a mild bit of a buff? And the catch-22 on this one is that you deal more damage to yourself because of the confusion. So that's actually where the catch is, and it's still got a high accuracy. It shows up a lot more in Gen 3. I feel like there's a lot of Pokemon in Gen 3 that know Swagger, whereas in this game, like, I think this is like the second one. Also, yeah, confusion wore off in one turn, so that didn't really work out, did it? That's okay. Ah, you kicked my butt. Having lost, I have no right to say anything. Go face your next challenge. Alright, cool. I'm trying to figure out what's the catch on this one. I don't particularly have a great strat on this one, because I know fighting type moves, but I'll commit to it. Alright, so only 1 revive, but still, we're gonna touch up on 4 full restores unless I feel like not healing Chicky. I feel like, you know, safer than sorry. So that's 3 out of 5. Assuming you don't realize that there's... Sorry, assuming you realize that there are 5 in the Elite Four. And alright. It gets all the kids. They think they've got it, but really... they don't. It actually feels really like old school like RPG, because there's a lot of RPGs out there that do like... I'm actually going to save on this one, because I legit think I've got like a shot. I don't think I am going to get like ultimately wrecked. Because usually when I'm like, you know, like cheaping out by spamming my items, that's when I feel I've actually like really lost things. I haven't been spamming them in the battles. I've used 1 singular full restore when I really thought I needed to. I am Karen of the Elite Four. I shall tell you how to run your business. I love dark type Pokemon. I find their wild, tough image to be so appealing, and they're so strong. Think you can take them? Just try to entertain me. Let's go. Yeah, alright. Alright. So Karen here is the dark type trainer. She starts off with Umbreon, a pure dark type that knows Feint Attack, Confuse Ray, Mean Look, and Sand Attack. That is barely anything that would actually mean something, but Confuse Ray and Sand Attack are just not going to be nice. Umbreon is kind of bulky, actually. Well, there's 1 Sand Attack, so... yeah. There's 2 Sand Attacks. You know, if I get too many Sand Attacks, at the very least, if they're using evasion increasing stuff, you can't do anything about it. If you're getting accuracy decreasing, you just switch out. You just reset it by going to someone else. You've used Sand Attack 3 times. Your strategy involves me rolling, like, you know, rolling bad numbers. It's got nothing to do with you actually winning. And then you just use Confuse Ray. At what point do I just go, yeah, nah, Umbreon, I'm good. I'm gonna double roll this nut. Ah, dang it. That's gonna hurt a bit. It's probably leaning away from using Feint Attack though, because, like, not much damage. Well, how does it feel to, like, drop 3 Sand Attacks, and then a Confuse Ray, and then, like, I miss a 1 turn and hit myself on 1 turn, and that's it. Cool. Alright, the next dark type on the team is Vileplume. You may be wondering, dark type? And yes, Vileplume is not at all dark type, it's grass poison. So they know Sunspore, Acid, Petal Dance, and Moonlight. Petal Dance is going to absolutely ruin my day, and I'm hoping Hot Doggo is good enough to be able to take it on, but I'm apparently faster than a Vileplume, so that's alright. I'm expecting Flame Wheel to do okay. Yeah. Ah, I didn't get Sunsport. Cool. If I get a crit, that's brownie points, Hot Doggo. That's brownie points. No brownie points for you. Yes, brownie points. Can you dodge another Sunsport? I don't know, man. I don't know. Sure. It's super effective. Sure. Alright. The next one is Gengar. I'm staying in. Why, yes, Dark-type Gengar. You know why? Because I got Bite. So this Gengar knows Lick, Spike, Curse, and Destiny Bond. Lick is the only damaging attack in this list, but Destiny Bond is going to ruin your day. Which is why I've got Hot Doggo out. Also, Curse is going to ruin your day a little bit, but... so yeah, what Curse does on a Ghost type is it drops their health by half, and then you take damage every turn. What they really should anticipate is me to kill them anyway, so... There you go! I'm glad Hot Doggo's getting some use out of this. I remember me using Dragonair in my last one, and just in my Pokemon Blue run, and just like having no ability to use them at all. So anyway, this is Murkrow coming up next, so I'm sending out Fluffer. I'm surprised that Chicky actually hasn't had much love in this one. Not much use for Chicky. Alright, so this is Murkrow. Murkrow is Dark Flying. We're back to Dark type. It's okay. It knows Feint Attack, Whirlwind, Pursuit, and Quick Attack. I'm expecting to take a bit. Murkrow is actually not, like, not the biggest pushover, but not the bulkiest. Oh, it is a pushover. Oh no! Oh no, bro. And the last one is Houndoom. So that's a no-on boy kind of Pokemon right there. So Houndoom here knows Crunch, Flamethrower, Roar, and Pursuit. That is a second attack, by the way, that can switch you out with someone else. Crunch is an absolutely devastating attack, given that they're also a Dark type, so that's the one attack to watch out for. But that's also the only Pokemon in this list who knows Crunch. Two of them know Pursuit, two of them know Feint Attack, and this is the only one that knows Crunch. It's gonna ruin my day, but I don't think it's gonna ruin No-On Boy entirely. Yeah. And it lowers your special defense, which fortunately, I think Dark is physical in this game, so it's actually not as bad, but Crunch ruins things. And there we go. That's 4 stars out of 5. Well, aren't you good? I like that in a trainer. Strong Pokemon. Weak Pokemon. That is only the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled trainers should try to win with their favorites. I like your style. You understand what's important. Oh boy, man. This actually was a favorites team. I was not even, like, planning really anything on this team that much. So, I'm gonna send Fluffer at the front on this last one. Yeah, I still think Chicky doesn't have a use in this lineup. Everything is so hostile against grass types in here. Everything, because like the first trainer's got a Jinx. Like, let me just run through these. The first trainer's got a Jinx. The second trainer's full of poison types, and that's gonna ruin the day on your grass type, I think. Yeah. And some bug types just to top it off. The third guy, like, there's an Onyx, sure, but like nothing particularly favors grass type. Never mind also the Hitmonchan knows Ice Punch and Fire Punch. It's got 2 things to ruin your day. And then, yeah, this Karen guy, like, you got Houndoom there. And you got a Vileplume, just, like, to be in the way. And also Murkrow, which, it's flying, but it doesn't know any flying attacks. And then, yeah, this guy, legit, every one of his Pokemon are flying. But he's not the flying type guy. He's just there, so... I'm gonna save here again. I saved before this one because I was like, holy crap, I've actually got like a pretty good shot. Level 40 may have been overkill, but I feel like it's good enough. It's good enough, guys. Chill. So anyway, enter this last room. Arrive at the top. It actually kind of auto walks you towards things, so you gotta watch out and save before. I've been waiting for you, Beardo! I know that you, with your skills, would eventually reach me here. There's no need for words now. We will battle to determine who is the stronger of the two of us. As the most powerful trainer and as the Pokemon League champion, I, Lance the Drag, on Master, accept your challenge. So, Lance here is the final boss of the game. He was the guy who helped you out in the Team Rocket hideout and also showed up at some other point in the game. I've forgotten. Whoops. He comes out swinging with a Gyarados right here. It knows Rain Dance, Surf, Flail, and Hyper Beam. It's level 44. It's probably faster. The Rain Dance is probably not the worst, because this is the only guy who has a water type attack, and no one knows, oh, one of them does know Thunder. Jeez. So, any electric type attack, you're smooth, you're set. But now here comes here comes my issue. So he's got 3 Dragonites. 2 of them level 47, one's level 50. They all have different movesets. Noan Boy is my best bet, because dragons are weak to Ice type. And double fortunately, I don't think any of them have a move that actually like favors attacking Noan Boy here. So they all know Twister, Thunder Wave, and Hyper Beam. Twister is a dragon type attack and is definitely going to ruin my day to some extent, actually. The flinching is going to get me. But I'm as fast as Dragonite, so that's actually okay. Ice Punch is going to be my way to salvation. I'm really thankful you actually recommended Ice Punch as well on that one. Now, so all 3 of them know Twister, Thunder Wave, and Hyper Beam. Actually, no, sorry. The 2 level 47s both know those 2 moves. And then one of them knows Blizzard, and one of them knows Thunder. Oh boy. Boy, cutting it a bit thin there. You know what's the best part? I think the entire rest of this gym, or this guy, is entirely a Noan Boy kind of fight. Oh, he's coming out with another Dragonite. Okay. We're gonna stay in there. So I think that might have been the one that knew Blizzard, but I can't tell. So, Rain Falling, I was like, oh dang, because that Gyarados does the setup. He sets up Rain Dance. If your opponent uses Thunder while it's raining, or if anyone uses Thunder while it's raining, it always hits. That's a silent note of Thunder. Fortunately, Noan Boy is Ground type, so he's not even going to consider it. And at that point, I'm feeling a bit more okay. But he's going to keep going for Twister. Okay, the rain stopped, so that's not an issue. No one else knows a water type attack, so the other benefit of Rain Dance is not there. Hyper Beam, by the way, yeah, really strong attack, but the next turn that the Pokemon gets, they have to sit out, which means that you buy yourself a turn to just get a crit anyways and not care. Sure, cool. Alright, that's 3 down. That's 3 Pokemon down. There's 3 to go. The next one is Dragonite. He's going in for it. He's committing. Okay, so this is Dragonite number 3. This is the highest level trainer in this half of the game. This is a level 50 Dragonite. It knows Safeguard, Outrage, Fire Blast, and Hyper Beam, just for good measure. Outrage is... That's not a comfortable amount. That's not a comfortable amount of health. You know, I'm gonna cheese it. I'm gonna cheese it. So what Outrage is, by the way, is that they're locked into using that move for 2 to 3 turns, and at the end of the 2 to 3 turns, they become confused. It's Dragon type, and it's rather strong. And I feel like the only way I'm gonna live this is if I cheese it. I'm sorry, but I gotta do it at some point. It's just level 50. So then at some point he's confused. And then he gets to use Outrage again. I've just doubled points for Outrage being a stupid attack. It doesn't use PP while he's on a roll. I believe it is going to roll his Confusion again. It's got 15 PP, by the way. In this game. They dropped it down to 10 in later games, although they also increased its damage. So that... Okay, well, Safeguard protects him from status conditions, which is fortunately not my strat, so... I can get him with a nice punch. If it crits, that'll kill him, but it's probably not. Nah. Lots of health, but... Oh, he's going with the Hyper Beam. Okay. The Hyper Beam is strong, but I don't think it's going to drag me down from full. Ah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. He didn't just milk Outrage. Cool. Alright. I think at this point it's probably smooth sailing, but you can't rely on it because every single one of his Pokemon has Hyper Beam, so yeah, nah, I'll just commit. I'll just commit to Noan Boy being my guy. So here's Aerodactyl. He knows Rock Slide, Ancient Power, Wing Attack, and Hyper Beam. What you don't want is for Ancient Power to be a dumb lucky move, because anyone who does Ancient Power and just gets the dumb lucky move. Just wins immediately. Aerodactyl is not Dragon type. Only the Dragonites are Dragon type. Might as well use Surf, even though I know that it's Rock. Like, Surf's only super effective against the ground portion, but... Oh no, sorry, it is. What am I thinking? I'm thinking something. Maybe I'm thinking Grass. Oh. Okay, sure. Yeah, this went a little smoother than I expected, actually. I know there's one more Pokemon, but, like, what's the worst that this one guy can do? I'm amazed no Arm Boy! The freaking Quagsire ended up being, like, just the catch-all whatever on my team. For sure. Okay. Last one is Charizard. It's level 46. It's got Flamethrower, Slash, Wing Attack, and Hyper Beam. Fortunately, that is Slash as of Gen 2, not Slash as of Gen 1, so... Don't expect it to always crit. Again, Hyper Beam. I don't expect to need another full restore on this one. Yeah, I'm amazed Quagsire here is like almost, I mean, apart from Ariados, but like just ended up being the thing to be able to tank everything on this team because he's got absolutely no strat to attack a Quagsire besides using strong Dragon type attacks. But he's got no type effectiveness, and he really doesn't have, like, you know, there's no effort value training, so it's over! But it's an odd feeling. I'm not angry that I lost. In fact, I feel happy. Happy that I witnessed the rise of a great new champion. It gives you 5,000 bucks, because, you know, if you beat some guy, I think, woo lad, you've truly become powerful. Your Pokemon have responded to your strong upstanding nature as it is. As a trainer, you will continue to grow strong with your Pokemon. There. Oh no, it's all over! Professor Ogilvy was so slow! Ah, Bino, it's been a long while. You certainly look more mature. Your conquest of the league is just fantastic. Your dedication, trust, and love for your Pokemon made this happen. Your Pokemon were outstanding too, because they believed in you as a trainer, they persevered. Congratulations, Bino. Let's interview the brand new champion! This is getting to be a bit too noisy. Bino, could you come with me? Oh wait, we haven't done the interview! Ah! All these like large abstract rooms, like there's just one computer in here, bro. It's been a long time since I last came here. This is where we honor the league champions for all eternity. Their courageous Pokemon are also inducted. Here, today, we witness the rise of a new league champion, a trainer who feels compassion for and trusts in his Pokemon, a trainer who succeeded through perseverance and determination. Dude, I am filled with determination. The new league champion, who has all the makings of greatness. Bando, allow me to register you and your partners as champions. Well, I can still safely say that I don't balance my team very well. I balance them on levels, and they certainly have different effectiveness. I don't think I don't think Chicky really had a moment. I don't think Babat really... he had one moment. No, boy, he's just... oh, I don't know, man. So, that's it. That's the main part of the game. But wait, there is more. Are we taking a, like... I don't know if it'll be 1 or 2 weeks. Not a break from streaming, but I will be playing just a different game before I get into the post-game portion of this game. I'm not playing any other game in the back, but I do feel like, hey, I just did 11 streams in a row, like 11 weeks worth of Pokemon. I feel like, yeah, you guys might want to see a different game, but yeah, that's it. That's Pokemon Gold. At least one half of it. It's definitely a lot shorter of a game. Well, actually, it's not really shorter, but it's shorter in the sense of, like, it doesn't anticipate you to be as high level as you would have been in first gen to get to the end. So it's technically a shorter game in that regard. But I don't think it's shorter in terms of content. That being said, what on earth happened to my levels at the end of the game? I don't know, but that is the, yeah, that is the game, basically. Yeah, apart from that, like, my thoughts on the game are still kind of the same, which is, like, this game is really dense. It actually doesn't really waste your time. it goes from, you know, one place to another. You know, you fight new Pokemon, you catch new Pokemon, you get, like, new kind of mysteries around you. Your rival is not an absolute jerk. There's actually some development in there. And I think one thing that this game really kind of, you know, connected with me about was the fact that, yeah, it's an adventure, and you go from place to place, and you're fighting very different kinds of Pokemon, and you're catching different kinds of Pokemon, and it just has, like, a lot of, like, really fun mechanics around finding and catching and evolving different kinds of Pokemon, and it just expands on that first game so much more than, you know, than a lot of sequels really do. Like, it's a sequel that is still Pokemon. It's very much just Pokemon 2.0, and in fact that, you know, they never really sequelize Pokemon much, because it's like, this is Gold version, and the next one's Ruby version, without really calling it Pokemon 3, or 2 or 3 or whatever. But yeah, no, I did have a good time doing this, minus, grinding, but no, it was good fun. So yeah, I will find another game to stream just a couple of weeks, and then I will get back into, the infamous post-game of this game. There's a bit of music, but you can just hit A and do this. So, for reference, and I actually might tease you on the post... No, I won't actually. Let's just say, you saw that the map changed when I went to the Pokemon League. There's a whole lot of, air quotes, half of the game. It's not as long. People think it's as long. It's not quite as long. But there's a whole nother part to the game that does need to be demonstrated. So, I shall leave that for the next stream, and this is a conveniently very close to 2-hour stream, so thank you all very much for staying here, watching me finally, after a while, finally beating the game. And with that, I do wish you a happy stream ending. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, no, like, I definitely really enjoyed just kind of revisiting a bit of my childhood yet again, through thick and thin. But no, it was really good. It was really good, so... I don't have too much to say. It's not a race weekend coming up, so I can't talk about F1 next week. So you're gonna have to find some motorsport news somewhere else, unfortunately. But other than that, like, yeah, I'd just say stay well, stay healthy and happy, eat your greens, play along if you wanted to. Other than that, stay well and stay warm if you're in the winter northern hemisphere, and embrace that shorts weather if you're in the you know, the Australia regions. Anyways, have a great one, everyone. Catch you all later.